Hey, what's up everybody? This is Justin here to give you my review this week. Another Tokusatsu show, another Metal Hero show, but this time not part of the Space Sheriff series, but this time will be a new one called Chojinki Metalder. From the depths of darkness called the Ghost Bank, led by the diabolical god Neros, they seek to conquer the world. Wow. But composing of the Ghost Bank are four separate armies: the Monster Army, the Armored Army, the Artillery Army, and the Robot Army. To combat this threat, Professor Koga, a scientist for the Japanese Imperial Army from World War II, resorts to using an old experiment he made to kill all Americans. And that project is Metalder, his robot soldier. His human form is modeled after his son and a kamikaze pilot who died during World War II. He gave him the name Tsurugi Ryusei, and whenever he says Ikaru or in rage, Ryusei takes his armored form. To further motivate Ryusei to fight, Koga sacrifices himself, and despite getting his ass kicked in his first battle, Ryusei swears to keep on fighting. And to further understand humans, Koga befriends Ogi Mai, a young and cute photographer, along with a motocross racer named Kita Hako. Also helping Ryusei is a robot Doberman named Springer, who loves to watch anime and can also talk. So, if you Google for this series, obviously this was the series that inspired Adam Steele's first suit in VR Troopers. Not Adam, I mean Ryan. Yeah, Adam was the name of Jason Frank's character when they did the pilot. But I haven't watched VR Troopers in 20 years, so my memory is semi-vague. But I do remember enough to notice similarities, like talking dogs, so the circumstances are different. Like in Metalder, the talking dog is a robot, while the dog in VR Troopers, a golden retriever, ended up that way by some experimental accident. Plus, the villain also disguises himself as a businessman, and they have two female assistants, who I call, the bitches who do shit. Even though Ryan has two friends in VR Troopers, those characters from a separate series called Spielvon, not really the characters, but the costumes they wear, which I'll review next week. But anyway, this explains why you never see the three of them together in the original Japanese stock footage, all filmed on 17mm as opposed to tape like they do for the American footage. But this series is pretty dark and deals with issues that Japan today probably doesn't have the balls to confront, such as World War II incidents, and a lot of incidents that lead up to the climax. Reminds me of Unit 731, a bioweapon unit that the government denies to this very day, along with their countless crimes during World War II. The plot twists are very interesting, and its themes and storytelling is very distinct from VR Troopers in many ways. Of course, this series has absolutely nothing to do with virtual reality whatsoever. And the gimmick to some of the villains was a very big surprise for me. I don't want to give away spoilers, but the armor unit of the Ghost Bank was very surprising to me and made me appreciate the series more, and they were the unit that really captured my interest in this series. What I also liked was the ability of a good portion of the villains weren't all that bad, and that Metalder didn't kill all of his enemies due to compassion, and that he learns to value life. I also love how the actor portrayed Ryusei. I like how he came across as innocent as a child, and at times when he transforms to Metalder, he sounds very authoritative and mighty. It is interesting to know that when he does transforms, I believe they used a different voice actor for him. And this is very rare to see in Tokusatsu, and if any other series has done this, please be sure to tell me. But the support cast works and they are useful in their own ways. Hako tries to do the right thing, but because he is only human, he ends up getting his ass kicked a lot, but the fact that he is trying to do something despite his faults makes him admirable. I heard its dark themes was something of concern, but not exactly a controversy in Japan. I heard it was cut short due to low ratings, and sometimes audiences don't react well to something as distinct as going dark from time to time. But I am someone who embraces it, but despite that, the ending is built up nicely. And I also liked about this series is that there are a couple of episodes where it's not exactly resolved around Metalder, when in fact he's like a third, they make him as a supporting character, or you see him from a third-person point of view. Like there's this one episode about this villain, I think it was like the 10th or 11th one, my memory is vaguey right now, but yeah, it's about like how he's trying to redeem himself, he wants to be Metalder, and he fights Metalder, and then you kind of see things from the villain's point of view, which I thought was really cool, and which kind of gives something very different. And for that, I give the story and characters an 8.5 out of 10. And there is a good balance of the action with Ryusei in and out of armor. The actor had a martial arts background, so his stunt work is pretty good. In the credits, he holds and trains in a samurai sword because the actor really has a background in Iaido, a martial art that involves a sword. He also uses various vehicles like his motorcycle and his car, so there is variety. Due to the gimmicks, you also get gun action and all that. And because of the character being because of the character being a robot and not human, there is a feeling of being more ballsy with the action. Like in one episode, Metalder was willing to sacrifice his arm to beat an opponent, but of course he could repair it later. If that was featured in VR Troopers, please tell me. The fighting is very intense, but he knows when to be cautious. So I give the action a 9 out of 10. The music is just motherfucking purely manly. The opening theme is very intense and it's kind of old school. Lots of trumpet and low voice lyrics. This is the kind of music Japan needs to bring back, man. And for that, I give the music a 10 out of 10. Once again, like I said, my memories of VR Troopers are very vague, but I remember the acting to be very horrible. Like, I remember Ryan, he had a very, very heavy Texas accent. If I remember correctly, the show was supposed to be called Cybertron, and during that time, Jason Frank was supposed to take the role, and at the same time, the guy who played Ryan was going to be the White Ranger, but they figured that wasn't going to work out with audiences, and they wanted Jason Frank back on the show, so they switched roles. And I think that actor who played Ryan is now a country singer, but I would listen to his shit over Bieber, of course. But anyway, this series goes to certain lengths, and you wouldn't see today, which is why I like it. I love controversy. I love seeing the envelope being pushed. And this series, for its time, fucking does it. Or, for this series compared to our times, at least. And, a lot of TV has become, pussified these days. And for that, I give Metalder an overall score of a 9 out of 10. And please look forward to my next review, Jiku Senshi Spielvan, which will cover the characters played by the black dude and the chick. Alright, that wasn't politically correct, but whatever. So yeah, look forward to that review.